What if our biggest fear, what if death, isn't actually an ending, but more of a transformation? Today we're going to dive deep into Daoism to look at a way of thinking about death that's ancient, thousands of years old, but somehow feels totally new. So let's get into it.
So I really want to kick things off with this one central question. It's really the core of this whole philosophy. What if death isn't the end? What if it's just a change of form? Seriously, that one idea, that's the key to everything. And to really get the Daoist take on death, we've got to first zoom out and look at how they see the entire universe.
All right, so the first, and I mean the most fundamental building block, is this. The whole universe, and I mean everything, from the biggest galaxy you can imagine down to the tiniest little particle, is constantly, dynamically changing. Nothing, absolutely nothing, just sits still.
And this idea of constant change, it runs so deep in Daoist thought. I mean, get this. The ancient Book of Changes, the I-Ching, uses the character Yi for the word change. And one of its earliest associations is a lizard. An animal that's the perfect symbol of transformation, always changing its color and shape. So for them, change isn't just something that happens sometimes. It's the very fabric of reality itself.
Okay, but this constant cosmic change isn't just random chaos. No, it has a structure. Daoist cosmology actually sees the universe evolving through numbers, and it all starts at zero. This state, the 0 point, is called wuji. Think of it as the limitless primordial void. Just try to picture it, a vast, silent emptiness. But it's not empty of nothing. It's full of boundless potential. It's the starting line from which everything we know begins to take shape.
So you might be wondering, if everything is always changing, what's making it happen? What's the engine driving all this transformation? Well, the answer is just beautiful. It's this elegant and powerful dance between yin and yang.
So right out of that silent void, that wuji, comes the number 1, Taiji, or the supreme ultimate. This is the exact moment that the universe's oneness first splits, creating two opposite but connected forces, yin and yang. Think of it like the very first spark that holds the potential for everything that will ever exist. That's why it's sometimes called the mother of all things.
And the famous symbol we all recognize? It just captures this relationship perfectly. That flowing S-curve down the middle, that's not a hard wall separating them, right? It shows this constant, fluid dance between the two forces. As one grows, the other shrinks back. And check out those little dots. That's the seed of the opposite inside each half. It's a reminder that nothing is ever purely yin or purely yang. They're always connected, always flowing into each other.
So, here's the really crucial part to get. Yin and yang are not enemies fighting some cosmic war. Not at all. Yeah, they're opposites, for sure, but they're also complementary. You literally can't have one without the other. It's like you can't have a shadow without light, right? It's the same idea. Together, they create this single, harmonized, pulsating unity that's just always in a state of transformation.
Let's break down some of their qualities. So on one side, you've got yang. That's the active, the firm, the stuff we associate with life and light and the sky. Then you've got yin. That's the passive, the soft, associated with death, darkness, and the earth. But hang on, did you catch that? How death is paired right next to life? In this way of seeing things, they aren't enemies to be afraid of. They're just natural, essential partners in that big cosmic dance.
All right, so let's recap. We've got constant change, and it's driven by the dance of yin and yang. But how does that change actually happen? Is there a pattern to it? You bet there is. And that brings us to our next big idea, the 5 agents.
Now, you probably heard these translated as the 5 elements, but that's a little misleading. It kind of misses the whole point. The Chinese character xing actually means to move, to act. So don't think of them as static things, like ingredients in a recipe. Think of them as 5 dynamic processes or phases: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. These are the active forces. They're like the verbs of the universe, constantly making change happen in everything, from the seasons outside to what's going on inside our own bodies.
Okay, so these agents interact in 2 main cycles. The first one is the generating cycle. This is the creative, nurturing one. It's kind of like a mother-child relationship. So wood fuels a fire, right? It generates fire. The ash from that fire becomes part of the earth, generating earth. The earth contains metals, which generates metal. And it just keeps going in this beautiful, continuous, creative loop. This is the cycle of growth, of creation, of life itself.
But, for there to be balance, you need another cycle. And that's the overcoming cycle. This is the one that controls or restrains things. So the roots of a tree of wood can break up the earth. Earth can dam a river, overcoming water. Water, of course, puts out fire. Now, this cycle isn't meant to be destructive. It's all about regulation. It makes sure no single agent gets too powerful and throws the whole system out of whack. It's a natural system of checks and balances, and it's absolutely essential for harmony.
Okay, now this is where it all comes together. We've been talking about these huge cosmic ideas, constant change, yin and yang, these cycles. So what in the world does any of this have to do with you, with your own body, with your life, and, yeah, with your death?
Well, here's the thing. These cosmic principles, they don't just happen out there somewhere in the universe.
They happen right inside of you. This incredible image, this is the Yi-Jing 2, or the chart of the inner landscape. And what it shows is the human body as a microcosm, a tiny, wondrous universe in miniature, complete with its own mountains, its own rivers, even its own stars.
And the connections they make are just beautiful. The head is seen as this heavenly mountain, Mount Kunlun. Your eyes are the sun and the moon. Your heart is linked to the Big Dipper constellation. See, in this view, your body isn't just some biological machine. It's a sacred landscape that perfectly mirrors the entire cosmos. And just like any landscape, its health depends completely on the harmony and balance of all its different parts.
And this brings us right to the heart of it all. Daoism sees life as the harmonious composition, the coming together of those 5 agents we just talked about, all working inside your own personal cosmic body. So it follows that death isn't some tragic ending. It's simply the natural and totally necessary decomposition of those same agents.
In other words, death is a return. It's just the moment that the agents that came together to make you are released. They dissolve back into that primordial void, the Wu-Ji, so that the great cosmic cycle can start all over again. It's not about being wiped out or annihilated. It's a profound transformation. And so, we're going to end right where we started, with a question for you to really think about. How does it feel to view your life and your death, not as this isolated one-off event, but as one small, beautiful, and totally necessary part of a huge, grand cosmic rhythm? How does that change your perspective?